very good evening and welcome. This is News First Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. Well, it was a sad day for Sri Lankan cricket as Sri Lankan cricketer Kumar Sangakkara announced today when he would retire from Test cricket. Sports First will have the details of this story as well as action from the second Test against Pakistan. But first, here's a look at your headlines tonight.
Elections Commissioner says that the general elections will take place under strict laws. Former President Kumar Sangakkara comments on nominations. News First Sirasa Shakti National Anti-Drug Drive continues. Views on wrong political decisions.
පහුගිය කාලය තුල දහම් පාසල වෙනුවට කුඩු වෙලෙන්දෝ රජ වුණා.
පිට එක රටවටේ ගියේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ අයින් කරා. ඒ පිළිතුර නැවතත් ලබා දෙවි.
Out of the stories in detail now, Mahinda Deshapriya, the Elections Commissioner, said that the parliamentary elections will be held under strict laws. He made this statement speaking to reporters at the Election Secretariat in Rajagiriya today.
Do not use the national flag or religious flags for election propaganda activities. We hope that in accordance to the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, candidates will refrain from misusing public property and state media. We have informed the private media institutions of the criteria that needs to be followed, and certain media institutions have informed us in return that they cannot agree to few of the criteria that have been mentioned. I can very clearly remember that MBC Media Networks informed us that they object a number of criteria that were mentioned and that they have to be changed. Therefore, we hope to discuss these issues in the future. We thank the media institutions that sent us their feedback, but without holding a discussion, we cannot tell what criteria will be subject to change. We cannot cancel the transfers of the government sector employees instantly. After the 6th, the Inspector General of Police cannot make any transfers of police officers. You can continue the work that were already planned. If state events are held after the 6th, we request that you refrain from making political speeches. Since this is the Ramadan season, in a certain district, they distributed 2 kg rice. The number was quite visible, while the letters were not. His number was number 2. We request not to carry out propaganda activities indirectly and to refrain from distributing items to the public expecting votes in return.
Journalists raised questions as to whether the election activities will disrupt the smooth proceedings of the GCE Advanced Level Examination.
The A-level exams and the Grade 5 scholarship examinations will not have a problem. I hope to request the additional commissioners to refrain from using those schools as counting centres. As a person who was a teacher for 5 years and spent 13 years in school and 3 years in the university, and as a person who was involved in education for a total of 21 years, I will pay a special attention towards this matter.
Accepting applications for postal voting from the 3rd to the 4th of July. Candidates must place a bond of Rs 20,000. Accepting of bonds concludes on the 13th of July. Election propaganda activity concludes at midnight on the 14th of July.
Staying in news on the general election, the Department of Examinations has decided to amend a number of scheduled days of the GCE Advanced Level Examination due to the parliamentary elections.
Thereby, the JC Advanced Level Examination will commence on the 4th of August 2015 as scheduled and will continue until the 13th of August. The examination will recommence on the 24th of August after the elections and will conclude on the 8th of September. Commissioner General of Examination WMNJ Pushpakumar announced that the Grade 5 scholarship examination will take place on the 23rd of August as planned.
The Deputy Secretary General of Parliament, Neil Iddewalla, speaking to News First, elaborated on how operations will take place in Parliament following its dissolution.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවක ඉස්සරහ හැරීමකදී පාර්ලිමේන්තුව හමුවේ පවතින සියලුම
When a parliament is dissolved, all bills, motions and questions of the existing parliament will be annulled. The top positions of parliament, that is the position of the speaker, deputy speaker, opposition leader, leader of the house and chief opposition whip will be annulled. If the cabinet is to remain, the present ministers can operate in the cabinet until the next cabinet is appointed. The general election will take place on the 17th of August. A new parliament will commence on the 8th of September 2015.
September මාසේ පළවෙනි දින අභිනව 8වෙනි පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ආරම්භ වෙනවා.
Minister Partli Chandrika says that the dissolution of parliament was an attempt to undermine the COPE report on the controversial treasury bond issue. He made this statement at a press conference in Bathramulla today.
ආණ්ඩුවේ ඇතැම් කොටසක් විශේෂයෙන්ම එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ පිරිස්
Certain sections of the government, especially from the United National Party, converted parliament into a place of no work. While they refrained from presenting bills and motions, on the other hand, motions of no confidence were presented against the government. Operations also began against persons who rise against corruption. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption does not function properly. Rather than punishing the big whales who committed large-scale fraud, they started to punish persons who have lesser faults. Some were given the opportunity to go abroad. Under this backdrop, they made a parliament into a place of buffoonery. They prevented the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. Now parliament has been dissolved. There were issues surrounding the sudden dissolution of parliament. One is that the motion of no confidence against the finance minister was postponed to the 6th. They had a need to avoid that motion of no confidence. The main issue was the undermining of the COPE report on the treasury bond issue. I believe that the people will provide an answer to the protection of the corrupt and obstructions made for political reform.
කරපු බාධාවන් මේ දේශපාලන ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණ වලට මේ සියල්ලටම ජනතාව පිළිතුරු දෙයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා.
On a lighter note, former President Chandrika Kumar Sangakkara celebrated her 70th birthday yesterday.
Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga was incidentally the first female chief minister of a provincial council in Sri Lanka and was also Sri Lanka's first female president. She is considered as a revolutionary character in Sri Lankan politics. Chandrika Kumaratunga provided clear leadership in fielding the common candidate in order to establish the government of good governance. A program to release cattle took place at the Bandaranaike monument in Athanagala to mark the 70th birthday of Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. Dry rations were also distributed at the Athanagala temple as well. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party will contest the forthcoming elections. We will form a government together with 11 other parties. We will not engage with anyone who is not agreeing to that policy.
The inaugural convention of the party, formed by Somawansha Amarasinghe, the former leader of the JVP, was held in Colombo today. The new party is known as the Janata Sevaka Party.
The party flag and the party symbol was unveiled at the event. Somawansha Amarasinghe spoke on the future plans of the newly formed party. Before you now is the Real People's Liberation Front. That JVP is once simply registered at the Elections Commission. The JVP is let down in some areas and now is operating a Taliban-like campaign. There is no massive crowd here. We are not afraid. We will keep a watch on the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. They said that I have a need to be MP. No, I actually have the need to be president. Should I be afraid to say that? No. Some say I have gone insane. They need to understand whether it is I or they who have gone insane. If it is said in a public place like this, they will face the consequences.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a need has arisen for the establishment of a government where all parliamentarians will be given a responsibility.
The Prime Minister made this statement at the event to distribute aid to tea smallholders in Atgala Gampula.
We have no intention of creating a single-party government. The UNP received a majority in Parliament. We will join together and create a government in the country. We do not want to accumulate everything for ourselves. Some say that even though they agree with this policy, they wouldn't like to come into the government. We have a solution for that as well. I will make the entire Parliament a government and give every parliamentarian responsibility. We will join together and vote for the points that we all agree upon as a government. We will let members of Parliament express their views on other matters as well. We must create a new democracy of this nature.
එහෙම අලුත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයක් අපි ඇති කරන්න හදන්නේ.
We spent the last 5 months in Parliament as if we were hostages. We were waiting for this to be dissolved. The President took the decision at last.
The first national convention of the Democratic Workers' Union took place in Palavatta Battramula today. The event was held under the auspices of leader of the Democratic Party, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca.
The new office bearers were also appointed in line with the first national convention of the Democratic Workers' Union. Party representatives and professionals also participated at the event.
The Parliament was dissolved last night. We are to travel a journey with the understanding of the harm caused to the government by the thieves who are involved in politics and the corrupt people. The harm caused to the country through the control of power in their hands. The harm caused to the economy. The harm caused to the administration of the country, and also the damage caused to the law and order of the country. We have to hand over the decision to the people to decide on who will enter into Parliament and who will go into provincial councils and who will enter into urban councils.
With Parliament being dissolved with effect from midnight yesterday, the political fora has heated up. Let's take a look at some of the views that were expressed by politicians today.
The Parliament was dissolved. They are attempting to bring back the rogues into Parliament. Some are given nominations. What we say is, do not send the drug peddlers, ethanol dealers, rapists, murderers and rogues back into the Parliament. Do not do so even if nominations are given. There is tussle for the post of Prime Minister among the two main parties. Am I not suitable for that position politically?
අපි මීට දවස් කීපයකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මතක් කරා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරුණා නම් විසිරුවන්නේ.
Several days ago, we informed that if Parliament is dissolved, it should not be done in a way that will prevent the tabling of the COPE report on the Treasury bond issue surrounding the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. We also hinted that Parliament would be dissolved before the 6th of July, the date fixed for the motion of no confidence against the Finance Minister. We also hinted that Parliament will be dissolved before the motion of no confidence against the Prime Minister will be taken up. That has become a reality.
කාරණාව අපි සිහිපත් කළා. අද ඒක යථාර්ථයක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
අකුරස්සේ මුළු කුකුල් කොටුවට මේක කුකුලා වගේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරු ඉන්නේ බුද්ධික පතිරණ විතරයි.
Buddhika Patirina is the only MP for Akurasa, the one and only. There is no one to place any order. The SLFP is divided.
ඒ නිසා ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පෙරේතය පොළොවේ ගැහුවා වගේ දෙකට කැඩිලා තියෙන්නේ.
ඒ මතක තියාගන්න මම ඡන්දෙ ඉල්ලන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂ.
Please remember that I will contest from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. I will not fall on my knees near Ranil Wickremesinghe, because when we left, Mahinda was able to come to Bibila. The father did not die. He is alive. If not, he would not be allowed to come to Bibila. He did not come because of my ministerial portfolio. If he did not come to Bibila, the UNPers would have sabotaged the meeting. The people will decide on the Prime Minister. When the MPs are elected, they will elect the Prime Minister. There is no tradition of naming a candidate this early.
අගමැති තෝරනවා. එදාට අපි ඒක බලමු. වෙලාසලින් නම් කරන සිරිතක් නැහැ මේ රටේ.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන අපේක්ෂකවරයා අපිත් එක්ක රට වටේ ගියේ.
When he was a candidate, President Maithripala Sirisena toured the country with us to remove Mahinda Rajapaksa from his position. That group committed fraud, thievery and corruption in the country. If they are shamelessly aspiring to return, the people will provide them with an answer.
ජනතාව ඉදිරියට ලැජ්ජ නැතුව එන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නම් ඔවුන්ට ජනතාව ඒ පිළිතුර නැවතත් ලබා දෙවි. ඒක කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ.
එතනෝල් ගංගාවක් මැද තිබ්බා වගේ පෙනුණු කුඩු ගංගාවක් මැද තිබ්බා වගේ පෙනුණු.
The parliament, which is like an islet in the middle of the flowing ethanol river, is not over. Over the recent past, persons left the palace seeking the post of Prime Minister. Now the time has come for them to contest the election for the first time without the use of violence, power of money, the power of state and intimidation. We challenge you to make Mahinda the Prime Minister.
පුළුවන් නම් මහින්ද මහත්තයා අගමැති පුටුවේ තියන්න කියලා අපි අභියෝග කරනවා. එදාට පුළුවන් අප්පච්චි ගෙදර යන හැටි බලා ගන්න.
President Maithripala Sirisena today announced that discussions are being carried out with the United Nations to increase the number of Sri Lankan military personnel serving in the international peacekeeping force.
He made the statement at the passing out ceremony of 63 cadet officers who completed training at the Sri Lanka Military Academy in Diathalava. The president, who paid tribute to the fallen war heroes, later handed over the swords to the cadet officers.
හමුදාවේ පිරිස් ඒ වගේම ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාවේ පිරිස්
Members of the Sri Lanka Army and the three armed forces are serving under the UN peacekeeping mission in several nations. We consider this as an honor. The United Nations invited the nation to join with the UN peacekeeping force only when it has a clear picture and understanding of the military of that respective country. Therefore, we hope that we can deploy decorated war heroes to the UN peacekeeping force after having discussions with the United Nations. As the Commander-in-Chief and as the President and as a public servant, I need to clearly state that as the government, all measures will be taken to ensure that the rights and benefits of the Sri Lanka Army-led three armed forces are provided.
The Randhenigala team was selected as the best team in all aspects. Secretary of Defence BMUD Basnayaka and Army Commander Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva were also present at the occasion.
The Newsfirst Sirsa Shakti National Anti-Drug Drive door-to-door awareness campaign has given life to many programs aimed at eradicating the drug menace from the country. The program, which is carried out with the assistance of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, has received tremendous support from the general public.
Today was day 2 of the National Anti-Drug Drive that took place in the Northern Province. The objective was to bring the people together to condemn the use of drugs by raising awareness. The teams that visited almost all the houses in the Jaffna, Vaunia, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu and Mana district informed the residents of the support required for them to eradicate the drug menace. A special sticker was also pasted on every house that the teams visited. It read, "No drugs in me, my home, my country." The Newsfirst team also visited Punkuditivu, the place that made headlines with the murder of school student Vidya. The locals were made aware of the use of drugs.
I am opposite the main bus stand in Jaffna. Newsfirst, Sirasa, Shakti, together with the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, went door to door in all 5 districts of the Northern Province. We started this yesterday and continue this campaign today. In the next weeks, we will conduct this campaign in the southern, central and eastern provinces of the island.
Newsfirst වෙනුවෙන් යාපනයේ සිට රාජේන්ද්‍රන් කුගුල්නාත්.
The Newsfirst team that was engaged in the awareness program in Mullaitivu was able to witness a tavern located very close to the Ambalpuram Tamil school in Mullaitivu. We were able to direct this to the attention of the security forces and the authorities thanks to the encouragement by the locals who appreciated our efforts. Later, the people of Vaunikulam and Servapuram were made aware of the ill effects of drugs. When National Anti-Drug Drive was carried out in the Kattekadu, Sivapuram areas in Kilinochchi, the school students, teachers and locals provided the teams with much support. Newsfirst informed the Talemana police of the National Anti-Drug Drive upon its arrival to Mana. The OIC of the police commenced the National Anti-Drug Drive and requested that its team be briefed first on this campaign. Many organizations spread across the island have joined the National Anti-Drug Drive organized by Newsfirst, Sirasa and Shakti and organized programs to raise awareness on the ill effects of drugs.
4 persons were arrested in Fort early this morning for their engagement in the trade of an expensive and illegal drug. The Excise Department said that among the suspects was a police constable attached to the Criminal Investigations Department.
The raid was carried out by a group of officers attached to the anti-narcotics unit of the Excise Department. The department confiscated 48 tablets which were in possession of the suspects. The Excise Department stated that each tablet was valued at 3,000 rupees. The drug which was confiscated by the department is used in nightclubs and suspects were preparing to sell it to a nightclub at the time.
We used an informant and made the arrest. One of the suspects is a constable attached to the CID.
WikiLeaks, an internet whistleblowing website, has also reported on this specific drug moved into Sri Lanka. The report identifies the drug as ecstasy and says that it is imported by the son of a powerful politician.
සමාජ ශාලාවල භාවිතා වෙන පෙති ඒවා සැබවින්ම මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය වෙනවා. එවැනි
Such pills which are used in nightclubs are definitely drugs. This drug is manufactured in Iran and in Afghanistan. The drugs then make their way to Sri Lanka. Persons wearing a suit and tie then take a walk down the red carpet at the VIP lounge at the airport and bring these drugs to the country. It has been impossible in battling this issue. It is politicians and their sons who are engaged in this trade.
තිබෙනවා. මොකද මේ ජාවාරයේ යෙදෙන්නේ දේශපාලකයෝ සහ දේශපාලකයන්ගේ පුත්තු.
The main reason for the increased use of drugs in the country and its spread is that they can be purchased for low price in the market. Newsfirst investigated the spread of drugs in the country over the recent past. Information also comes to light of a drug used by persons on a regular basis. A Newsfirst reporter went undercover and managed to bring out 2 such pills, which were handed over to the National Dangerous Drug Control Board for testing.
බොහෝ වෙලාවට ඔවුන්ට ඒ සඳහා දෙනු ලබන්නේ මානසික රෝගවලට දෙනු ලබන බෙහෙත්.
These pills are used for mental illnesses. This pill is given when one is insane. This is also used for nervous injuries. The use of such intoxicant drugs can damage the brain of a person. This affects the brain cells. Sadly, the damage caused to the brain cells cannot be reversed.
මොළයට සිදුවෙන හානිය නැවත සෑදීමට අපහසුකමයි.
An educational exhibition was organized at the Independence Square today in line with the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking.
John Amratunga, the Minister of Public Order, Disaster Management and Christian Affairs, declared open the exhibition today, which comprises of 40 stalls that raises awareness on the ill effects of drug and medical treatment.
The previous state leaders did not show an interest in this area. That is why drugs have spread far and wide. That is why the smugglers were able to continue their trade. Our objective is to save the country from this menace. We need the support of the people for this endeavour.
The public will receive the opportunity to witness this exhibition tomorrow as well.
Well, today marked day 3 of the campaign to obtain 1 million signatures for the March 12th declaration aimed at creating a cleaner political environment. The campaign commenced today from Madhavachia.
The campaign to obtain 1 million signatures for the March 12 declaration to field suitable persons for politics commenced its journey from Madhavachia town today. The March 12 declaration contains 8 criteria that needs to be looked into by political parties when providing nominations for candidates. Locals from Madhavachia extended their support to the declaration by placing their signatures on the declaration. The campaign rally then reached Manna after obtaining the signatures of people from the town and cities it passed. People from Manna also joined with the campaign to obtain 1 million signatures for the March 12 declaration.
We hope to carry out this campaign by visiting all districts in the island over a period of 10 days in order to collect 1 million signatures.
The primary objective of the March 12 movement, comprising of 21 organizations including PAFRIL, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Transparency International, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka and the Ceylon Teachers Union, is to create a better political culture in the country. The March 12 declaration was prepared as a preliminary measure to fulfill this objective and includes 8 fundamental criteria that should be taken into account by all political parties when they consider nominating candidates. The rally of the March 12 movement concluded its journey for the day in Jaffna.
Sajith Premadasa, the Minister of Housing and Samruddhi, addressing an event in Hambantota, said that 429 Sunday schools in the country will be given 200,000 rupees each starting next year.
In the past, instead of developing Sunday schools, drug peddlers became kings. A tavern political culture was functioning. The casino culture came into the forefront. Thieves and rapists got positions in the political field. As public representatives, our objective is to create good children and children who adhere to good values and present them to society.
The root cause of the real path to destruction. Newsfirst investigations continue. Tomorrow at 9 p.m.
The technical sessions of the International Symposium on Energy Challenges in the Knowledge Economy 2015 was held in Colombo. The event was organized by the Ministry of Power and Energy.
The objective of the symposium is to facilitate a rich exchange of knowledge among energy policymakers, researchers, academia and industry who seek solutions to problems of energy economy, sustainability resources and effectiveness in energy use in the new economy. The keynote address for today's event was delivered by Professor Saravanan Muttaya, Professor of Information Technology of Multimedia University in Malaysia.
So the latest statistics that I have for you is 70% of the carbon emission contribution is from the ICT sector. It's not the shipping, it's not the airlines, which used to be. Now the data centers, the ICT centers, these sectors are contributing more to CO2 emissions than the airlines or the transportation industry. So that's really very sad. And then we talk about being green and green IT. Does it really exist? And is it a fact or a myth? That's where I'm coming from.
Thank you very much, sir. The event saw the participation of scientists, academics, engineers, professionals and policymakers in both government and private organizations. Newsfirst was the electronic media partner for the International Symposium.
Today was the second and final day of the Korean Cultural Festival 2015, organized by the Embassy of the Republic of Korea, together with the Ministry of Tourism and Sports as well as the Ministry of Cultural Affairs.
As part of promoting Korean culture and arts, participants were given the opportunity to take part in quiz competitions. K-pop. The cultural festival was held under the auspices of State Minister of Cultural Affairs Nandamitra Ekanaika. Around 1,000 taekwondo competitors from sports clubs and schools took part in the competition and prizes were awarded to the winners today as well. The final day of the Korean Cultural Festival 2015 came to a close with the K-pop festival.
What about the responsibility the people have?
Well, the selection the right type of members who does development of politics. Conscience, what he promised, what he has done. After 5 years, they will know, because media like yours, you are going to say, this is the promise he has made, this is the promise he has done. Next time, they will select the right type of guy.
News First presents an in-depth, exclusive discussion with the former President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam. Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on Sirasa TV and NTV Sports.
10 persons have been admitted to the National Hospital after being electrocuted in the Grand Pass area in Colombo. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruan Gunasekar said that one of the persons had succumbed to his injuries. The accident had taken place when they had attempted to raise a flag post, which later came in contact with a high-voltage electricity supply cable. Police said the incident took place in the Vadulavatta area at Grand Pass at around 6:30 this evening. Sri Lankan batsman Kumar Sangakkara made an announcement after day 3 of the second test against Pakistan today. Sangakkara said that he will bid farewell to his test cricket career after the second test match against India later this year.
Oh, මටත් ආරංචි මේ කොහෙද කලාවේ පැත්තෙන්ද කොහෙද එනවාය කියලා. එහෙමනම් මම නම් දන්නේ නැහැ. මටත් කවුරු හරි කියපු දෙයක් තමයි ඒ. හැබැයි එහෙම දෙයක් මගේ හිතෙත් නැහැ. මම දන්නෙත් නැහැ.
Born in 1977 in Matale, Kumar Sangakkara took to the field when he was schooling at Trinity College, Kandy. Kumar Sangakkara made his test debut against South Africa in 2000 and had gone on to play 131 test matches.
An open invitation to all our viewers to attend the News First social media convention, which will be held at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow in Mathura and Jaffna. We have more sports news for you. The ICC has urged Sri Lanka's sports ministry to hold Sri Lanka cricket elections before the next ICC board meeting in October. The ICC website reports that the decision was reached during the annual meeting of the ICC in Barbados.
According to the website, the International Cricket Council Board says that it has received an update on Sri Lanka cricket and reiterated its earlier position that the appointment of an interim committee of Sri Lanka cricket by the government of Sri Lanka was a breach of the ICC's constitution. Accordingly, the ICC board has urged the Sri Lanka sports minister to hold free and fair elections before the next ICC board meeting in October. Speaking to News First, Minister of Sports Navin Dissanayake stated that the ministry will hold discussions with the ICC with regard to this new decision and added that the ICC has given permission until the 16th of January 2016 to hold the elections of Sri Lanka cricket.
One last story before we leave you tonight. A full bowser travelling from Colombo to Badulla met with an accident in Bandarawila. We leave you tonight with visuals that were captured by the Newsfirst cameras moments after the accident took place. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. Take care and good night.